What if I told you that the biggest controversy of the 2026 FIFA World Cup didn't happen because of a goal, but because of a decision? A single whistle. A single VAR review. And within minutes, millions of football fans around the world were accusing FIFA of destroying the spirit of the game. Social media exploded. Former players questioned the decisions. Fans demanded answers. And one phrase began trending across the football world. FIFA under fire. But what really happened? Were these just emotional reactions after dramatic matches? Or has the biggest tournament in football entered one of the most controversial chapters in its history? In today's documentary, we're uncovering the biggest World Cup controversies of 2026, the decisions that divided fans, and the moments that left the entire football world asking one question. Can FIFA still be trusted to protect the integrity of the game? Stay with us until the end, because the final controversy may completely change the way you look at this World Cup. Every World Cup creates heroes. Every World Cup creates unforgettable memories. But sometimes, it also creates moments that fans never forgive. And in 2026, controversy seemed to follow almost every major headline. It wasn't just about who scored the goals or who lifted the trophy. Instead, the spotlight shifted toward referees, VAR decisions, disciplinary rulings, and FIFA itself. Every controversial call triggered another wave of debate, and within seconds, millions of fans were analyzing slow-motion replays from every possible angle. One match would end, and before the celebrations even began, social media was already filled with accusations of unfair decisions. Some supporters believed technology had improved football, while others argued that VAR had only created more confusion. Every replay seemed to tell a different story. Every expert had a different opinion, and every fan believed their side had been treated unfairly. Football was no longer just being played on the pitch. It was being debated across the entire internet. Then came the controversies that pushed FIFA into the spotlight. Questions about consistency in refereeing, debates over disciplinary decisions, and criticism about transparency dominated football discussions. Some decisions were defended as correct under the laws of the game. Others remained fiercely debated, with no clear consensus even after experts reviewed them repeatedly. That uncertainty became the biggest story of the tournament. Fans didn't just want explanations. They wanted confidence that every team was being treated fairly. As pressure mounted, the football world became deeply divided. Some defended FIFA, arguing that officials make the best decisions they can in the fastest game on earth. Others believed football's governing body needed to communicate more openly whenever major controversies occurred. Regardless of which side fans supported, one fact was impossible to ignore. The 2026 FIFA World Cup was being remembered not only for incredible football, but also for the debates that refused to end. And this was only the beginning. Because the biggest controversy of the tournament was still waiting to unfold. But then, everything changed. The controversy was no longer just about one match or one referee. It had become a global debate about football itself. Every new decision made headlines. Every controversial incident reignited old arguments. Fans began asking whether the biggest tournament in the world was becoming more about officiating than the players on the pitch. Stadiums celebrated goals, but online, millions of supporters were celebrating, or criticizing, the referees' decisions instead. The biggest question was simple but powerful. Has VAR solved football's problems, or has it created even bigger ones? Supporters argued that technology had corrected countless mistakes over the years. Critics responded that even with multiple camera angles and video reviews, major decisions still divided fans. Some believed the rules were being applied consistently, while others felt similar incidents were producing completely different outcomes. Every replay seemed to fuel another argument instead of ending it. As the tournament progressed, football analysts, former players, and journalists reviewed the most controversial moments one by one. Some decisions were praised as brave and correct. Others remained impossible to agree on. The same incident could be watched by millions of people, yet half the football world would see justice, while the other half would see injustice. That was the true reason these controversies refused to disappear. They were no longer just football moments, they had become global conversations. Meanwhile, FIFA found itself under enormous pressure. Fans demanded more transparency. Many wanted officials to explain controversial decisions after matches, just as happens in some other sports. Others called for improvements to VAR, clearer communication inside stadiums, and greater consistency in refereeing across the tournament. Whether those changes would happen remained uncertain, but one thing was undeniable. Trust had become just as important as technology. So, was the 2026 FIFA World Cup defined by unforgettable football or by unforgettable controversies? The answer depends on who you ask. Some fans will remember the incredible goals, dramatic upsets, and emotional celebrations. Others will remember the debates, the replays, and the moments that split the football world into two. But one thing is certain: these controversies have already become part of World Cup history. And in the final part of this documentary, we'll reveal the biggest lessons FIFA must learn, the changes fans are demanding, and whether the future of football could look very different after 2026.